People ask me all the time, Eric Zane, how do you do it? You have to balance so many things. You have to have your hand in just about everything in order to make a living. How are you doing it? Well, frankly, when I started, I have no idea. I think I kind of just muscled my way through it. But there is one secret that I've never really talked about until now. It's a book. It's called Elevate, Build a Business Where Everybody Wins. The author is a dude named Tommy Mello, which sounds like a guy who was a roadie for the Grateful Dead. But no, this guy's a genius, and you got to get this book. He's built a $200 million business with over 700 employees. And in this book, I discovered some skills and things that I can do to help me in what I do. It applies to just about any line of work. Kind of like if you're sick and tired of working for the man, you can become the man or woman, gender stuff, or else everybody's going to get mad. What I'm suggesting is you check out the book. It's a quick read, and what you will gain when you read it will blow your mind. Tommy Mello. The book is Elevate, Build a Business Where Everybody Wins. Trust me on this. Get a copy of Elevate at elevateandwin.com/Zane. All right, you might have to back up and get that one again, but here, I'll tell you again. elevateandwin.com/Zane. You're going to love it. When you go to elevateandwin.com/Zane, you will get 5 exclusive bonuses, including a winning ads and application page checklist, the interview bundle, the 7 steps of delegation, and more. If you're in a rush, Elevate is also available on Amazon, though you will only receive the free bonuses when you go to elevateandwin.com/Zane. Read it, and when you finish the book, get ready to have your life changed. Okay, now I am not the guy to go back on old WBBL recordings and say, oh, listen to how funny this is. I post the Lost Zane recordings for you to check out. It's from the old radio days on BBL with Ben and myself and Julius. But I did hear from audience member Chris D, who said that something really ridiculous happened. And I had forgotten all about this, so I want to share it with you as a free view of what is available on the Lost Zane recordings as part of my Patreon. So the story goes, this was back, 2017, and in the community of Augusta, Michigan, which I think is somewhere near Kalamazoo. Okay, it's a small one-stoplight town. There was some dust-up between some of the local people that work in the community that had a lot of people pissed off. I remember very little about this. I just know that it was a big bit of drama over a water bill, and someone called someone else an asshole or some shit like that, and the sheriff was... I'm not even sure. But we took all of this stupid drama and we wrote our own drama. It was like something we acted out. We wrote our parts, and like I played the part of the sheriff who I guess thought sounded like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, and everybody had different roles, different parts of townspeople and, various members of the community in this stupid radio drama, almost like a soap opera. So I'm featuring that here for you to check out, and maybe you'll laugh. Hopefully you'll get a giggle out of it, whatever. The full show is available on my Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. Here you go. Check out this free view of the Lost Zane recordings. Well, here's what's happening here based on the story that we've talked about on the air 3 times now and had great fun each time. The small community of Augusta, Michigan, the village, if you will, near Kalamazoo. The big turmoil that took place when 2 of the locals decided they wanted to go pay their water bill, and they, like archaic, buffoons, have to pay it in person so they can get a receipt. And since they would go there, the village clerk oftentimes would not be there, and that frustrated them, so they left a note basically letting it all hang out about what they don't like about that person. You're rude, and a long litany of things. Well, the village clerk was upset by that and then mailed the water bill to them and said, to Mrs. So-and-so and the a-hole that lives there too, but actually wrote ASS, wrote the whole thing. And then so they went, over the top ballistic about this whole deal. And that led to all of this. They need to be fired. And then the chief, we heard from him, and he sounds like this. And the chief is also the village leader or the village who's in charge of the whole place. So we had a lot of fun talking about this story. Fast forward to like this big meeting they have once a month, and it was a packed house. All the locals are there screaming down the chief about how the chief ended up suspending her for 2 weeks without pay. And
that was a fun conversation.
And that was, yes.
You have to leave for 2 weeks.
So, you thought that would have been enough, but no, these two people that got this nasty letter addressed to A-hole said, no, we want her fired. And the community banded together and put on their best farmer clothes and pitched a bitch in front of God and country about this and made a huge deal about it. So, that led to the potential for coming up with the very first ever Eric Zane Show Players. Could you go to the page? I don't know which one it is again. The Eric Zane Show Players is a acting troupe of accomplished theater pros.
Oh, yeah.
That include myself, Julius, and Ben. Now, you need to know that of the three of us, Ben is the most concerned. We're all out of our comfort zone here, but we figured let's come up with the script.
Did any of us do theater? I doubt it.
No.
I have not.
I did not either. Okay.
I have not.
I
went
to a play once.
This is this is kind of like the old school radio dramas you'd hear, and maybe like War of the Worlds. There's in future, if this works out in future episodes,
okay.
we could hire our own Fred Foley artist to come in here and actually do sounds.
Every time you say it's like the old radio theater, the only example you have is the War of the Worlds.
That's the only one I can think of. But
is there any others?
There are many, many radio. That's all people did back then when there was no TV. Is listen to. It's like the equivalent of listening to books on tape.
All right. Back in the old days,
it was live. They would do it live.
Right. Which
in like
is why
a studio.
War of the Worlds scared the crap out of people.
In like a sound studio.
People were very dumb back then.
They were very, very dumb. Now, no one in this room.
Could you imagine how popular it would be if this was the only mode of entertainment?
Yes. Well, hey, maybe this will blossom into something.
Yes.
And then it just turns into, all right, in hour one of the show, we've got this one. And then hour two, we'll bring in guest star Dave, Jack, and Ed for another episode of Terror at the Ford Theater or what?
How I Saved Abraham Lincoln.
All right. Now, Ben, in this adaptation of a true story, the Eric Zane Show Players presents Augusta. You are the announcer, Ben. Mm-hmm. You play the part of Mrs. Quiefendorf, one of the residents of Augusta.
All right.
And
all right.
So those are your parts.
Man, I always marvel at your handwriting.
I typed it, but I did write it in some notes.
But my name.
Yeah. I know it.
It looks like a little kid wrote it.
I know it. Serial killer. Don't read a bit of it right now. It has to be fresh on the air. Julius will play the parts of resident Helga Dykengash. She also is upset at all of this. And he also plays a part of local resident Mr. Slag and Snatch. And he has range, ladies and gentlemen, Farmer Fran. These are all Julius's parts.
What was the first one? Slag and Snatch?
Helga
Dykengash.
Dykengash.
Oh.
Now, I will play Chief Eeyore.
Oh,
now,
boy.
in this drama, it's set in It's set in the. Don't read a bit of it, right. Julius.
Well, I just wanted to see when I come into play.
I know what you're doing, and that's no good. That doesn't help us if you read ahead, because if you read ahead, there could be some continuity, and we don't want continuity. We're shooting for train wreck.
How many pages is this?
Okay.
3?
There's 2 pages of dialogue, and then you close it out.
Easy.
Now, this is set in that village town hall meeting.
Yes.
Okay? Forget all the backstory. We all know the backstory. The village clerk in this drama, known only as village clerk Shelley Smegdanovitz, she referred to Mr. Vandenbecker as an a-hole. And that sets up the stage. Now, Ben, when I fire the theme for the first ever edition of the Eric Zane Show Players presents Augusta, It's time. It's showtime.
Oh, God.
You got to be ready.
In a world.
Okay, here we go. Now, you're actors, so if I hear Ben's dopey voice when he's just depressed that we're doing something that's making fun of him, it's not going to work. You got to dive into this part, Ben. Are you ready?
Yes. Can't you tell?
Here we go. The first ever edition of the Eric Zane Show Players. Are you going to start?
I don't know when to start. All right. The Eric Zane Show Players presents Augusta. A small town near Kalamazoo, Michigan is rocked by scandal. It all started when the village clerk sent a water bill to a resident she referred to as an a-hole. And then the real drama began. Sides were taken, flannel shirts were pressed, ugly women put on makeup, and fat dudes got fatter. And a police chief with 8 other jobs caught in the middle. This is Augusta. We begin as the village crackers have all gathered in the town hall to plead their cases to fire or keep village clerk Shelley Smegdonovitz after she referred to Mr. Vandenpecker as an a-hole.
All right, here we are. Order. As village president and chief of police, I, Chief Eeyore, call this meeting to order in the name of Christopher Robin and the 100-Acre Wood. Will the first Hilljack drama queen please step up to the mic and make a big deal out of this stupid thing?
Chief, I'm Helga Dykengash. I lived here all my life, and I've never been more offended about something that has nothing to do with me. This clerk only needs to be fired, but my fellow hags on the cow chip eating team feel she should not be allowed to participate in the bumper pool showdown at Frick's Tavern on Main Street on Wednesday night.
Order! You realize that Clerk Smegdanovitz has already been suspended for 2 weeks without pay, don't you? Mr. Snatch, do you have something to say?
More time for whoring around for her, I say.
Yeah. Whoring around. She's a whore, for God's sake.
That's all we need is her squeezing out 8 more cross-eyed kids who smell like barf and messing up all the learning all normal kids doing some during schooling time.
Yeah, that's right. Schooling, that's our time. Oh, bother. You've proven my point. If we fire her, she'll have all your babies if you're not careful. Her eggs are very fertile, and when you add your grain alcohol-infused crank butter, the whole village will one day be cross-eyed. Mrs. Quiefendorf, would you like to speak?
Yeah, Chief. This... Oh, no. This is all to keep you from taking another job, isn't it, Chief? Don't give me that. Not only are you chief and village president, you're the Augusta cow fluffer, sewage taste tester, and prolapse colon massager.
Look, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just a depressed chief whose tail keeps falling off while Tigger bounces around trying to make me happy. I don't want another job.
That's a lie. Just like the sound at the village limits that say open to all minorities. Not that I have a problem with that lie, but I'm just saying, you're a liar.
Tune in again next time for another edition of Augusta with the Eric Zane Show Players. Hear what happens when Mrs. Quiefendorf sneezes out her own sandwich mayo onto Farmer Fran's stroganoff. Achoo!
All hellfire special sauce. Hee-haw!
Okay, that is it. As usual, Ben, with his wheezy laugh, always makes me crack up. That's like my favorite thing to happen ever. So there you go. And that is just part of the programming that I have available for you on the Patreon. 11 bonus shows a week, $5 or $10 a month, patreon.com/Eric Zane. If not, that's cool too. I'm just glad you were able to check this out. All right. Have a good one. See ya.